Now, application of the copper nickel. So what are the main applications? First one is marine engineering, then ammunition and coinage, heat exchangers, electrical components, oil and gas industries. Okay, you must be having difficulties understanding this one. Just leave for here because that we are not concerned about that much. Rest all application that we need to understand. Okay, so marine engineering, that we know why. Heat exchanger, why? Because they are having the good thermal conductivity. Okay, why it is being used in the marine? There because they are having the good corrosion resistance under, especially under the seawater. Okay, we talk about electrical component because they are having the moderate electrical conductivity. Oil and gas industries, because in oil and gas in oil and gas industries, gas that sometimes we are having the desire of having more and more conductivities, and sometimes we must not have the corrosion. That's why we must the material that are having you know more corrosion resistance, so that all properties will suits according to their applications. And that's why that is the reason. I mean, the properties, if you are having memorize, then you would be understand, you could decide what the other application that would be, because according to the application, according to the properties, that you can decide what are the parts, what are the industries, what are the area that must be feasible for use of that particular material. Okay. Now, the advantages of the copper nickel. So excellent resistance to the corrosion, especially in the marine and industrial environments. So I mean, lots of the material that we have discussed, they all are of having corrosion resistance, but in different areas they are good. Suppose some are environment, some are harsh environment, some are in normal environment. So they all are having different you know uh, conditions. Okay, so highly durability and strength compared to the copper. So if we compare with the copper, which is because that is our parent material in our alloying element. Okay, so if we compare with the copper, it has a high durability and high strength as compared to copper and nickel. Okay, so good resistance to the biofouling, making it the ideal for the underwater applications. Okay, excellent heat resistance and high temperature stabilities. Long lifespan in the harsh environment. Okay, so that we have discussed. These all are the properties, and that's why it is the advantages. Now come to the disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of copper nickel? So the more expensive than other copper alloys due to the cost of nickel. Here, look. So what are the main concern? What are the main disadvantages? That we were getting the more and more, mechanical properties which are, being improved, right? But but in the other hand, that we were not seeing that the cost was being higher. If the cost was being high, that it means it is not feasible, that's not economical. But sometime if that we would be having requirement that we can compensate, we can bear that much amount of money, then it would be feasible. Okay, but mostly that is not feasible, right? So why the cost of nickel is high? So cost of nickel is high, so costly, it is a costly materials, right? Costly elements. Lower the electrical conductivity compared to the pure copper. So if we talk about the electrical conductivity, it has the less as compared to the pure copper. But if we talk about the thermal conductivity, then it has the more thermal conductivity as compared to pure copper. Okay, so making it as less suitable for the certain electrical application. Why? Because they are having less electrical conductivity as compared to the copper. So why we would use that the costly material? Okay, the same application, if we are going to use this material into the electrical components, and they are having less electrical conductivity, though we are having less more amount as well to make this particular material, why not we will use only copper, right? They are having the good electrical conductivity. That's why it is a disadvantage simply. Okay, so now the higher nickel content can make the alloy more difficult to machine compared to the other materials. So higher the nickel amount can make the alloy more difficult to machine compared to the other material. So if the nickel amount is going to be increased in your copper nickel alloy, it means they will make a disturbance to machining that particular component. So copper nickel component alloy that we are getting, that would be difficult, that would be having difficulties of machining would be not be easy if they are having the more nickel content, or weight percentage of nickel is high. Okay, so machining would be difficult. So copper nickel alloys are essential in the industries required high corrosion resistance. Okay, that is a big advantages, strength and durability, particularly in the marine and industrial applications where the exposure to the seawater or corrosion element is prevented. So if these all are the concern of our application part, then we can prefer with this particular material, along with looking into look into the cost. Okay, if that all is going to be feasible, or that could be you know kind of allowable, okay, at the cost of that much amount of money, then it would be only feasible, right? But you know that when we come to the aircraft or marine, then we expenses more, because without expenses the money we could not get that kind of the facilities. So if we talk about the marine, or if we talk about the aircrafts, they all are being you know in use on the cost of or on the compensation of the too much cost.